So I just saw in the news recently that you have Gretchen Carlson, who settled with the whole sexual scandal with Roger Ailes for $20 million. $20 million. And this man was the top. He was the one on the top of the food chain. And so just to think about how if the person at the very top is a sexual harasser, how that affects the entire organization. He was the man, and he was doing some fucked up shit. This isn't about that. I want to talk about Bill O'Reilly because he had a sexual harassment lawsuit himself. But from what I've just heard bits and pieces here and there, Roger Ailes was pretty fucking gross. He was pretty disgusting. He would, make them twirl around and do that type of shit, but he would make the reporters on Fox News give him a little kiss, right? Or give a hug. He'll go in for a hug and then he'll try to kiss them. And once they had done that, once they had showed allegiance by kissing this fucking troll, this disgusting man who is using his power to manipulate lots of women. When you think of Fox News, there's been lots of memes where they show that they're selling sex. And so these blonde, sort of bimbos or sort of ditto heads or just sort of, not very bright women, but they're beautiful, so that's okay. Get them in front of the camera, get them to, read the teleprompter, but he would get them to, he would kiss them, he would slip it in, give them a little tongue, and, or they would just do it on their own, and he would videotape that. So he would videotape them kissing this weird-ass goblin of a man, and if they ever threatened to say something or do something, he would say, well, I'm going to release this videotape. I'm going to show everybody what, what kind of person you are. So he would get this weird-ass shit, going, and then eventually he would, so, I mean, that's super fucked up, right? So this makes me think about Bill O'Reilly. So Bill O'Reilly, he had a lawsuit, a sexual harassment lawsuit, and he got... the lawsuit itself had alleged that she was suing him for like $60 million, and then they had a undisclosed settlement. So no telling how much she had actually got, but it was Andrea Macris. And Bill O'Reilly, he would say all this weird shit. He would harass her, call her up on the phone, and have all this weird phone sex, or try to get her to have some phone sex. And there's that moment where he got the falafel confused with a loofah, and the loofah, that sort of ball that you put the body wash on and it lathers up. And he said it was a falafel, which is a kind of food. And so, he got the falafel confused with the loofah, but there's actually more to it than just that. So Andrea Macris said that Bill O'Reilly was paternal and engaging. So he was paternal, right? Sometimes he could be paternal, like a father. He cared about me and he cared about my, life. And then other times he'd be tyrannical and menacing. And so those are the two, Jekyll and Hyde, right? Oh, come here, let me give you a hug. And I care about your life, and I just want you to do what's best for you. Now do what I say. Now get in here. Now let me, and so tyrannical and menacing. Now, the biggest thing that I just want to mention, just because it blows my mind with how many people are so anti-gay. There's so much of an anti-gay agenda. People say there's the gay agenda. And I think that sometimes identity politics can trump justice, and it can trump the oppressors versus the oppressed. And, ultimately comes down to economics. Throwing a bunch of money at something won't fix it, but if you got jobs and you got infrastructure and you got hope and opportunity, that fixes it in the long run. And so Bill O'Reilly had called Andrea Macris while masturbating with a vibrator. So he had a vibrator, right? A dick, a mechanical dick. And he was talking to her, and he says, why don't you use your vibrator? And he's like, I got my vibrator. And they said that in the lawsuit that you could tell that he was using it. Let me read the lawsuit. Okay, so the lawsuit says, during the course of defendant Bill O'Reilly's sexual reign, it became clear that he was using a vibrator upon himself and that he ejaculated. The plaintiff was repulsed. Immediately after climaxing, defendant Bill O'Reilly launched into a discussion concerning how good he was during a recent appearance on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. It was funny. They used a big clip of me right after Brokaw, and Brokaw was absolutely the most unfunny guy in the world, and the audience got a big charge out of my... It was good. It was good. Right? So he's sitting there just talking about how fucking awesome he is and shit. Oh, no. But, you know, just the fact that they have this homophobia is just being spread around. I can't stand it. It makes me think of, well, let me finish this, okay? So he's sitting there saying all this shit. I'll take the loofah, I'm gonna feel your big tits, get your nipples all, you know, hot and bothered, and rub your tummy, and you have real spectacular boobs, and then that's when he gets the falafel confused with a loofah. Then he said, let's see, he's used a vibrator, and he said that he also had a vibrator. So he's talking on the telephone with Andrea Macris, and he says that I had one shaped like a cock with a little battery in it. So he's got a vibrator that's shaped like a cock with a little vibrator in it. That's his words, not mine. And he used this on himself and he climaxed. So I'm thinking, okay, well, he's got a vibrator. He's got a mechanical dick, a mechanical penis. Well, how is he using it? How is he using this mechanical penis? Is it anal? Is he sticking it right up his butt? I mean, that's, first of all, he's got a mechanical dick, right? That's gay. And I personally, I don't mind any of this. It's just a hypocrisy. It's the hypocrisy going around sitting there shaming people. Don't do this, don't do that. You gotta, you know, live a certain kind of lifestyle. And this happens all the time. The biggest anti-gay people are the biggest gay people out here. And the way I look at it is that love is fluid. And so, you know, there's a certain percentage that everybody has for anybody else. Now, I know my orientation. I am secure in my masculinity. I just have, if someone wants to throw the charge, faggot, you faggot, I just don't like how I have to, you know, no, it's like your original, your normal reaction, or sort of somebody saying like you're some way, and it's a real harsh word. No, I'm not. And yeah, like I guess I probably am. You know, a percentage of me is. And it's a small percentage because it's not, you know, I know what I like. And but if I was on a deserted island, and, you know, I'm a human being, so I just, I hate the conversation. I hate the way that they make the conversation, because there was a study that said those who have homophobic tendencies or homophobic thoughts were the ones that were turned on by gay porn the most. So he's got this vibrator. I don't know if he's using it for, you know, sticking up his butthole, or if he's rubbing it all over his body, but it's a mechanical penis, and Bill O'Reilly is using it all over himself. So, you know, it's it's just he's plus also fucking lying about the Falkland Wars, you know. So, you know, he needs to quit fucking lying. He's a fucking liar. But I'm just sitting there thinking about the hypocrisy of it, how it's fucking bullshit, and how the conversation is really stupid. Essentially, it's like people would rather try to shame others or try to pretend like they're not gay by hating that. Oh, I hate that. And by going overboard and saying that you hate the thing, then it tells on yourself, first of all, but then also it makes you into some weird demented monster. It turns your fucking, you know, it's like, it's just, you know, you're essentially a fucking piece of shit. You're not admitting the gay part that's in you, and then by you not doing that, you're going around treating people like assholes. I think homophobia kills so many things. I almost feel like, you know, some people, if I like their status, they're like, oh my God, why is he liking my status? Or some people can't like my status because it's like homophobia. You know, fathers can't tell their sons that they love them. Guys are just, it's just a bunch of psychos. And it's just a bullshit conversation. I think it's an absolute bullshit conversation. So I don't know how to convince a homophobic person, you know, to quit being fucking homophobic. I would think just logical. You know, consenting adults have the right to do whatever they want in the privacy of their own bedroom. But if you can't listen to logic, and you're not a thinking person, and your religion is telling you to hate gay people, right? Which is what, I was thinking about another thing. I'll make this last point. You have all this religious intolerance, and so you have this religious freedom bill, but that's intelligent design. So you got to put intelligent design, and this is Chris Hedges, or not Chris Hedges, Chris Hitchens, and he says that where religion ends is where philosophy begins, where alchemy ends is where chemistry begins, where astrology ends is where astronomy begins. So when ignorance ends, that's when knowledge and education begins. And we don't have much, but if we can't even talk science and logic, we don't have anything at all. And I think that's a problem with fascists. I think it's a problem with homophobic people, but religious people. You had that woman in Indiana who beat the shit out of her kid with the wire. Beat the living shit out of her kid and left a bunch of wire welts all over him. That's religious freedom. Religious freedom is going to go ahead and protect that. Then you have abortion, woman's right to choose. And I think that there is a middle ground there. Some people want to say, oh, she can have an abortion, at 9 months. 9 months is a pretty long time to wait. And can she have an abortion when the kid's 1? There was a guy in Louisville who his girlfriend had got a abortion, and he killed a 16-year-old because he said, Old Testament, eye for an eye. So when it comes to abortion, when it comes to homosexuality, when it comes to transgendered people, it's encouraging bigotry, it encourages child abuse, and it encourages intelligent design. Put alchemy right next to chemistry because, well, that's my belief, so let's go ahead and put that in school. Well, that's outrageous. That's ridiculous. Not only in a free country, I can tolerate stupidity. You want to be dumb? You have a right to be dumb if you want to be. But that doesn't help anybody. Being dumb does not help anybody. And so I think people need to understand that let's not be stupid. Let's start to be smart. And so intelligent design, abortion, homosexuality, and child abuse. So the religious indoctrination is absolutely insane. And you got, Bill O'Reilly, who's supposed to be this leader of the culture wars. And, he's got all these legions of followers and shit. And they'll be, anti-homosexual bigots when he's a gay man himself. He's doing some really gay shit, right? With the vibrator, I've never, even though I'm tolerant and I even admit that, love is fluid and that there's a percentage of me that is gay, I've never taken a vibrator and put it up my butthole. I've never used a vibrator for anything. And here we got Bill O'Reilly on the face, the main face for Fox News, who is, gay as shit, who is gay as hell. And he's a liar about the Falklands War, so it's just weird how people listen to him as if he's a fucking god. It's like, well, he's got a TV show, it's nice bright colors and shit, so let's just go ahead and believe what the fuck he says. He says, to hell with Obama, they've been trolling for assassins for such a long time. So anyways, I just wanted everybody to remember that. Don't forget that Bill O'Reilly, took a vibrator, probably shoved it up his butthole, or was just rubbing it all over himself. But he said it had a little battery in it. He had a vibrator with a little battery. Right? Oh, just a little bit battery. He's fucking gross, and it's disgusting. And just, Roger Ailes, how many other people in this organization have been affected with this kind of weird fucking perversion? And so just be mindful of it. All right? Mwah. Mwah. Peace.